Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, and Colt fans, we've got a lot to talk about.
This is Culture Uncut. I am your host, Jason Spears, and free agency is off to a wonderful start for the Indianapolis Colts. I have to say, I'm surprised, and I did not think I would be doing a podcast today for a couple of reasons. The first one is I've been very, very sick. I'm pretty sure I have COVID. I'm going to be tested tomorrow, and my temperature's been around 102 all day, so not feeling great. But sometimes you got to play injured, and when Chris Ballard actually does something smart, you got to show up. You got to show up for your people, so I showed up for you guys. I can't say enough good things. If you listen to my shows about free agents that I looked into, or that I wanted the Colts to look into, safety, one of them was Cam Bynum. And I thought he would be a good fit because he played in a complicated scheme in Minnesota, and he was able to adjust to it, and he certainly was a big-time playmaker in that defense, and I think he can be the exact same style playmaker in this defense. A lot of cover one with Flores, a lot of cover one with Anarumo, so I think that was a huge signing. And if we do draft a young free safety, it takes a lot of pressure off of that guy. And it would be nice to have like a 3-man rotation at safety. That would be great. So, just starting with Cam Bynum, he's 26 years old, so he's in his prime. He got a 4-year deal, $60 million. Not sure what the guarantees and all that stuff are, but look, my issue and argument and kind of my test to Chris Ballard was put up or shut up, right? You've held the money hostage. You haven't really spent it on value outside the Colts organization, and he did that. He got a valuable player from a really good organization, and he's a very talented player, and he's going to fit this defense great. So that was the first thing, and I was like, wow, what a day. Well, we got day one, we got something done. But then I went back and checked Twitter, and lo and behold, one of my favorite cornerback that I had listed as a free agent pickup for the Colts, Charvarius Ward. We got him too. And I'm so excited about the defense and what it's going to look like. This guy is still 29 years old. He had a bad year, a down year last year. He battled injuries. Wasn't a great year for the 49er team. I think he's going to have a great bounce back year. I think this is a great signing. Obviously, all this is with the caveat we got to see it on the field, but they signed him to a 3-year deal worth up to $60 million, $35 million guaranteed, plus a $20 million signing bonus. So, yes, very expensive, but he's also a damn good player when he's healthy and he's out there balling. And you put him opposite either Jones, Juju, or whoever, I think it'll be Jones, you've got a legit secondary. I mean, you've got him on the outside, and then you've got the competition. You know, people forget how well the young fella from San Francisco that we brought over after cuts last year, how well he played. I'm drawing a blank, guys. I'm sorry. I should know his name. My brain is ginger ale right now, so I'm off my game, but I still wanted to do this. But my point is, now there's going to be all that competition for that second outside spot, and I think that's nothing but great, because you're going to have, Jalen Jones are going to, out there, the incumbent, and you're going to have Juju, who's probably the most talented, but doesn't seem to fit this scheme. And then, the kid we got from San Francisco last year, and whatever we do in the draft, it's going to be a hell of a competition for that spot. And I like what we're doing. He's got to keep it going, got to keep the momentum going. I like our safety tandem. I like our corners got a lot better because you now have that experienced vet, and I like that they're coming from winning programs. I think that matters. Minnesota's a well-run organization, and they had a great year last year. And San Francisco over the last 5-6 years has been a great organization. Down year last year, but it happens. They're coming from great organizations, and I don't see any negatives. I see nothing but positives for the wisdom that they can impart on these players. Charvarius Ward is a very good physical corner. I think he's going to fit this defense perfectly. I think the Colts identified these guys early, and unlike in years past, they went out there and they attacked the free agent market and got these guys done. And I think that's what they had to do. Otherwise, they would have waited around and they would have got table scraps. So, look, you guys know why I feel about Ballard. I thought he should have been fired years ago. But I'm going to give credit where credit's due. On the first day, he goes out and gets 2 difference-making football players, guys that will immediately impact our defense. I'm going to give him credit. Now we have to see what he does the rest of the time, granted. But so far, so good. It's definitely a change. You can't argue that this isn't a change. He went outside I like our guys BS and got some really good players from playoff teams, very good teams, very well coached teams, and I think that's going to help having Ward in our DB room with Kenny and those 2 vets talking to these young guys, and now having Cam Bynum in our safety room with Daniel Scott and Nick Cross and Denbow and all those guys, and I think that's there's just nothing that I don't like. It was always going to cost a lot. It is what it is. It's not our money, and so it is what it is. So other Colts moving on. Ryan Kelly to the Vikings for a 2-year. $18 million deal. I wish him nothing but the best in Minnesota. He was a polarizing Colt the last few years, but his play for the most part was always above average. So I wish him well in his last 2 years, or maybe he plays after that. I don't know, but I think he'll be good with that coaching staff in Minnesota, and I think he'll protect the quarterback well there. And I wish him the best. And then Dio, my guy Dio. I love Dio, and I was always a huge fan of his when we drafted him. And I think he is just coming into his own. And I think the Bears got a steal. I think he's gonna. I didn't think the Colts should re-sign him at this number based on what other issues they have. But I do think the Bears got a steal because I think he's going to outperform this contract. He's just gotten better and better. The numbers don't show it, but if you've watched him, he's certainly gotten better. So they signed him, the Bears did, to a 3-year, $48 million deal. I certainly think the Bears are going to be a team that bounces back this year. I think they've got a really good coaching staff. I think they're making some really good free agent moves. I would expect them to be much more competitive in that division. Does that guarantee that they'll be a playoff contender? No, but I do think they're going to be a hell of a lot more competitive than they were last year. So there's that. What's next? Well, I still think Will Fries is a guy that you've got to try to lock down. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, and I don't know if Ballard's willing to go to those numbers when there's a lot of options in this draft and also in free agency. So I don't know. Maybe they slide, Concalves to guard. I really don't know. I would feel a lot better about it if we had a veteran there to kind of push him, and also maybe draft a young guy or something to back up the Bortolini. They've just got to round out their depth on the offensive line. I think it's going to be fine. Get the Daniel Jones thing done. I'm not a fan of it, but just get it done. Don't overspend. Please don't make it more than a 1-year deal with like a 2nd-year option or something. Don't because honestly, dude, if he's going to cost a lot, just give me Gardner Minshew. Anyway, and then so finally, like the last two guys. So I mentioned how I had three categories: one for corners, one for safeties, and one for linebackers. So Dre Greenlaw's the guy I wanted. I don't think we're going to be able to get him. There's three teams. I think Denver. I think there's three teams after him. I don't want to misspeak, say the wrong teams. But the Colts aren't one of them. Apparently, I know the Colts checked in on him, but I think the price tag's probably too high. So the guy that I'm looking at, because Sherwood from the Jets has re-signed, and I really wanted him. The guy I'm looking at now is Terrell Dodson, 26 from the Dolphins. I was looking at his stats. He's not great in space. He's not a great tackler. His overall PFF grade is about average, but his coverage grade out of 89 linebackers is 5th. The Colts need a coverage linebacker. It will take a lot of pressure off of the young kid, and I don't think this guy's going to cost a ton. I could be wrong. I think it takes pressure off Carlisle, and you've got, you got Z there to help this kid along. And I just think having that guy, that starter that can go out there and has the experience, and he's still young. He's still very young. He's 26 years old, so he's in his prime. He's coming off a great year in coverage. Is somebody that I would certainly look at. I think he would add to our room, but maybe the Colts are thinking linebacker in the draft. There's a couple of guys I really like. I like Jihad Campbell. I like Mundoon. I don't know how you say his name, from Georgia, but he's really good. And I'd like to see one of those two guys be a Colt. But if they could get this guy for a decent price, I would absolutely be all over it, because they need coverage linebackers. And then finally, obviously, the big one, the gorilla in the room, it's trade for Trey Hendrickson. I would say, listen, what I've heard is they want a second, right? So what I would tell them is, listen, here's what we'll do. You can have a third that can be that can turn, like a 2026 third that can be conditionally to a second, or you can have if he plays a certain amount of snaps or whatever, or you can have a third round pick from this year's draft plus one of Kwity Paye or Juju Brents. Not both of them, but one of them. And see what, and just, they've got to get it done, because now they've lost Dio. They need to replace him with somebody better. And I refuse to believe that they can't get this done. With the guys they have in the building, the coaches, Trey loves Lou. Trey loves our D-line coach. Get it done, man. Just get it done. If they are able to get Trey Hendrickson here and maybe sign like a veteran tight end, and that's all they do the rest of the time, and Daniel Jones. They let Fries walk, maybe draft a guard, whatever. I don't know. But if they get Hendrickson here, it's a win, dude. It is a win, because our defense will look totally different. It will look totally different. They definitely need depth at defensive tackle. And again, that can be the draft. That can be the back end of free agency, 1-year deal type guys. But they've got to improve the depth on their defensive line. So, and especially at the tackle spot. So you can't have Grover and Buck out there playing 80% of the snaps at their age. They're in their 30s now. You got to have some young bucks to come in there and take some of the pressure off. And hopefully either through free agent, I don't care. Just whatever. However you can augment this roster with more talent, do it. We've dicked around long enough. Houston just traded away their elite left tackle for some unknown reason. I don't know why. We're not far away from competing in this division. It is not that good. It is really not. And C.J. Stroud got murdered last year, and they just got rid of his best offensive lineman. So a lot of things are going our way, man, early in this free agency period. So I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of crap because I'm being honest about Ballard and I'm giving him credit, because this has never happened in the time that he's been here, where he's gone outside the family to bring in culture guys that are also great football players from other winning organizations. And he's done it clearly in a way that these are the two guys he wanted. He went after them, he attacked and was aggressive, which is all I've ever wanted from this guy. The sit back and wait and do nothing till the market sets itself basically just washes out all the talent, and then you get leftovers, and leftovers have you finishing 8-9 and 9-8 and 7-9 and 4-12, and you know what I'm saying? So I'll give credit where credit's due, but he's still got more work to do. I do want him to try to re-sign Fries if it's possible. If not, then he's got to pivot to another player. I don't know who that is because I haven't done a lot of research on guards. Maybe it's somebody in the draft. I would love to get Fries back, because then I think our offensive line is elite again. But you know, who knows? Somebody might overpay, and he's coming off an injury. You just never know. I want Fries. I don't want anybody who can misconstrue that. And you know, I want a shake too. I'm just kidding. Bad jokes because I'm sick. But I'm good. I'm happy. Outside of feeling like I'm on my deathbed, I'm very happy with what Chris Ballard has done in day one, and I'm excited to see what the future holds going forward with free agency, because I think free agency, what he does in free agency, will tell us a lot about what he's going to do in the draft. So let me know in the comments, man. How are you guys feeling? Like I'm a show me guy, and I'll be honest, he showed me today. He got two very good players that were on I had 3 lists of like 4 guys, linebacker, corner, and safety, and he got one of each. Corner, Ward was my number 1, and Bynum, he was my number 2 after Holland, and now I think Greenlaw and Dodson are the only 2 linebackers left. If he pulls one of those out of his hat, I mean, then he hits the trifecta, and he's not going to catch any slander from me, but he's got to go out there and get that Trey Hendrickson deal done, man. He's really got to work that and try to get that done, because if you add that dynamic playmaker because you add a guy like that can get to the quarterback, that's going to hurry the quarterback, plus with Buck and Latu in his second year, they always make this bigger jump after their first year to their second year, and then you've got a guy like Bynum playing the back end, ball hawking safety that takes the ball away, Ward, Kenny Moore. This defense can transform, guys. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a top 5 all-time defense like Zaire Franklin, but I will say I certainly think if they continue to add pieces, it could very easily be a top 10 defense, because I'm telling you, you give this coach good players or even average players, you're going to see a good defense. I promise you. This is not the last 7 years. Okay? It's not. So I feel good about it. I feel positive about it. As bad as I feel physically, I feel great about the Colts, and I'm going to enjoy it for the day until until Will Fries signs somewhere else tomorrow, and Trey Hendrickson's traded somewhere else tomorrow, and all my guys Greenlaw and Dodson sign somewhere else tomorrow, and then we sign Daniel Jones. Then I'll be pissed again. But for now, I'm happy. And I hope you guys are too. Like I said, leave your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? How are you feeling? Thoughts on Ballard? What do you think they should do next? What do you think the biggest needs are? So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. I did not expect to be on this quick, but hey, man, sometimes you got to play injured. So thank you so much to everybody that supports and listens. And I will be back. I don't know when, because who knows? News might break. I could be on again tonight. Something else might break. Something might be breaking right now. I'm recording this. But I'm so happy to see Chris Ballard get off his ass and do something early on. And I think it's a good sign, because it shows he's being flexible, and he's not just going to sit back and watch his GM career just come to an end without trying to get better players. And I think that's a good thing for everyone, our fan base, him, the Colts, the team, the organization, the city. So I'm probably overstating this, but I feel really good about what he did today. I really think you guys should too. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the day and week, and I will talk to you as news comes out here on Culture Uncut.